All right, so you're ready to deep dive into The Secret with us, huh?
Sounds like it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You probably already know the basics from Rhonda Byrne's book, but we're going to really unpack it. Analyze those, captivating stories and figure out if this law of attraction thing actually works, you know?
Yeah, it's really interesting how the book resonated with so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Byrne presented the law of attraction in such a simple way. It almost seemed like a recipe for success. But it's a lot more nuanced than just wishing for things and poof, they appear.
For sure. It's definitely not magic, but it makes you think about, the power of our thoughts. Remember that story about the guy who visualized a specific feather and then boom, he found it. Just like that, on a crowded New York City street.
Think that's just coincidence or what?
Well, coincidences can be pretty intriguing, but the law of attraction suggests it's more about aligning your energy with what you want,
Remember, Byrne's book is always emphasizing the importance of not just thinking, but feeling. That guy with the feather, he didn't just vaguely picture it. He focused on every detail, like he already owned it.
So it's not just visualizing, it's about believing you already have it. That's where that ask, believe, receive thing comes in.
Exactly. And that believe part is so important. It's not tricking yourself. It's about cultivating this deep sense of knowing. Almost like setting the stage in your mind for it to show up.
Okay. I like that Byrne used a lot of examples from her own life, too. Remember her story about losing weight by changing how she thought about food? Was that just willpower, or is there something more going on there?
What's interesting about her weight loss story is the change in focus. It wasn't just dieting. She actually changed her entire mindset around food and her body. She didn't fight her cravings. She just focused on feeling healthy and vibrant.
So aligning your actions with what you want to create.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not just positive thinking. It's about embodying that feeling of already having what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But how does that work in different areas of life, Well,
let's take money, for example. The Secret suggests that focusing on lack just attracts more lack. You're sending a signal to the universe that says, I don't have enough.
So instead of stressing over bills, we should be visualizing ourselves swimming in cash.
Well, not exactly swimming, but the idea is to shift your focus to abundance. Remember Jack Canfield's story about manifesting $1 million check? It wasn't just wishful thinking. He actually took concrete steps. He wrote himself a check to actually embody the feeling of achieving that financial goal.
That's where it gets a little tricky for me. I get the visualization part. But playing make-believe with money seems a bit far-fetched. What do you think?
Think of it as a way to reprogram your subconscious mind. We're so used to thinking about money in terms of limitations. I can't afford that. I'm always struggling. These thoughts create this blueprint that attracts more of the same,
Okay, so by acting as if we have abundance, we're changing that blueprint.
Exactly. It's about interrupting those old patterns and creating a new frequency, a frequency that aligns with prosperity.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could apply to other areas too. What about relationships? Can you really manifest your soulmate just by visualizing them?
Well, it's not like conjuring someone out of thin air. Think of it more as setting your internal compass toward the relationship you desire. Remember Glenda Bell's story? She wanted to work in the U.S. She packed her suitcases and made arrangements, even though she hadn't gotten the transfer yet.
So she acted as if it was already happening, and that somehow made it a reality.
It's about aligning your actions with your intentions. You're taking steps to move toward your desired outcome instead of waiting for things to happen. You're creating space for those desires to manifest.
Yeah, that makes sense in the workplace. But relationships are more complicated. It's not like you can just move in with your dream partner.
Right. But the principle applies in subtler ways. Instead of focusing on what's missing in your current relationship, The Secret suggests focusing on what you appreciate. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude and abundance, and that can attract more positivity into your relationship.
So instead of complaining about what your partner isn't doing, you focus on their good qualities. Could that really change the dynamic?
It's not ignoring problems. It's about approaching your relationship from a place of abundance, not scarcity.
Okay, I'm intrigued. We've covered money and relationships. What about applying The Secret to your health? Can you really just think yourself well?
That's where things get a little more controversial.
Yeah.
The Secret talks about the body's ability to heal itself and how positive thoughts can contribute to that process. But it's important to remember, it's not a substitute for actual medical treatment.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. Byrne talks about the placebo effect, where people feel better just by believing in a treatment, even if it's fake. But can you really apply that to serious illnesses?
That's where it gets tricky. The Secret shares some inspiring stories, like Morris Goodman, who recovered from paralysis by visualizing himself walking again. But it's important to be skeptical. It's not about blaming people who are ill for not being positive enough.
It's a fine line between empowerment and oversimplification. But I am curious about this idea of energy medicine and how it connects to The Secret.
Byrne talks about the concept that everything vibrates at a certain frequency. This actually aligns with some ideas from quantum physics about energy fields. We'll get into that more later. But the basic idea is that our thoughts and emotions emit a certain vibration, and that vibration can influence our physical well-being.
So if we're always stressed and negative, are we creating a vibration that makes us sick?
That's the suggestion. But again, it's not about blaming ourselves for getting sick. It's about exploring how our minds and bodies are connected and understanding how our thoughts might play a role in our overall well-being.
This is getting really fascinating. We've covered money, relationships, health. But what happens when The Secret doesn't work?
That's a great question, and Byrne actually talks about that in the book. She talks about resistance. We're focusing on what we don't want actually blocks manifestation.
So if we're always worrying about debt, are we actually attracting more financial problems?
It's like you're putting up a wall to what you desire. Byrne uses the example of anti-war movements. They might actually be fueling conflict by focusing on war itself.
That's a really interesting point. So it's not enough to just visualize what we want. We also have to release any resistance we have towards achieving it.
Exactly. You have to clear the path mentally and emotionally for your desires to manifest.
This makes me think about all my limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to afford that. All those negative thoughts that keep playing in my head. Does The Secret address that?
Absolutely. Byrne says it's really important to recognize and challenge those limiting beliefs. She suggests replacing them with empowering affirmations, statements that affirm the reality you want to create.
So instead of saying, I'm not worthy of love, I should be saying, I am lovable and deserving of a fulfilling relationship.
Exactly. You're rewiring those thought patterns and creating new ones that support your desires.
This is all starting to make sense, but there's still a part of me that's skeptical. Can you really change your life just by changing your thoughts? It seems almost too simple.
The secret isn't about offering a quick fix or a magic formula. It's about recognizing the power of our thoughts and how they influence our reality. It's about becoming conscious creators of our lives, not passive bystanders.
I like that. Conscious creators. It makes me think of that quote from the book, 99% of who you are is invisible and untouchable. What do you think Byrne meant by that?
It's a reminder that there's so much more to us than our physical bodies and our outward circumstances. It's about tapping into our inner power, the huge reservoir of potential that's inside all of us.
So it's not just about changing our external reality, it's about transforming ourselves from the inside out.
That's the heart of The Secret, aligning with our true selves, our most authentic and empowered selves, and allowing that inner transformation to ripple out into our lives.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far. We've covered the core principles of The Secret, explored how it applies to different areas of life, and even started to touch on the connection to quantum physics. So what's next on our journey?
Let's go deeper into the quantum physics aspect. Byrne's ideas about energy vibration and the universal mind actually align with some mind-blowing concepts in science. And then we can explore some specific techniques for applying The Secret in your life.
This is getting really exciting. I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Okay, so are you ready to go deep into this quantum realm? It might sound kind of intimidating, but The Secret actually explains it pretty simply, even if you're not a physicist.
All right, well, I have to admit, when Byrne started talking about, energy fields and vibrations, I got a little lost. It all sounded a little too woo-woo to me, but I'm definitely open to learning more.
Well, the basic idea is that everything in the universe is made up of energy, including our thoughts, and this energy vibrates at different frequencies. This isn't just some made-up concept either. It's actually supported by quantum physics. Scientists have actually seen that particles behave like waves, constantly moving, and they create these fields of energy.
So if I'm getting this right, our thoughts aren't just stuck in our heads. They're actually sending out some kind of energy into the world.
Exactly. And that energy interacts with the energy field around us, which influences what we attract into our lives. Think of it like tuning into a radio station. Your thoughts are like the dial, and the experiences you attract are the music playing on that frequency.
So if I'm constantly thinking negative thoughts, I'm basically tuned into a station that's playing doom and gloom.
Well, it's not quite that simple, but the principle is similar. The Secret suggests that if we focus on positive thoughts and feelings, we can change our energy frequency and attract more positive things into our lives.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all fits together. But what about this universal mind concept? It sounds pretty mystical. How does that fit in?
Well, Byrne describes the universal mind as this huge field of pure potential. It's like a source of infinite energy and creativity that connects us all. Some people might call it God, others might call it source energy. But the idea is that we're not separate from this creative force, we're a part of it.
So it's like we each have this direct line to a cosmic power source, and our thoughts are the way we communicate with it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And the secret suggests that by aligning our thoughts with this universal mind, with what Byrne calls our true selves, we can tap into its unlimited power to manifest our desires.
Okay, that's starting to make sense.
Yeah.
But if we're all connected to this source of unlimited potential, why aren't we all living our best lives? Why are so many people struggling?
That's where those limiting beliefs get in the way. We've all picked up these negative ideas about ourselves and the world throughout our lives. And these beliefs create a kind of block that stops us from reaching our full potential.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts, it's about breaking down those beliefs that are holding us back.
Exactly. It's about clearing the path mentally and emotionally for our desires to show up. And Byrne actually gives some practical tools for doing that, like using affirmations and visualizations to change our subconscious minds.
She talks a lot about feeling as if our desires are already happening, right?
Yes, that's a really important part. It's not enough to just think it. You have to feel it deep down. You have to embody that energy of already having what you want.
So if I'm trying to get a new job, for example, I shouldn't just be picturing myself in that role. I should also be feeling the excitement and satisfaction of already having it.
Exactly. Feel the pride of telling your friends and family. Feel the confidence of taking on new challenges. Even imagine what it feels like to get that first paycheck.
Okay, I can see how that makes it more real. But sometimes it's hard to stay positive, especially when life gets tough. What do we do when doubt starts to creep in?
That's where practice comes in. The secret isn't a one-time fix. It's a process of becoming more aware and shifting your thoughts and feelings to match your desires. It's like learning a new language. It takes time and effort.
So it's not about forcing ourselves to be happy all the time. It's about noticing our thoughts and choosing to focus on the ones that help us.
Exactly. It's about becoming more aware of your thoughts and how they affect your life.
Byrne also says that gratitude is a really powerful tool for manifestation. We talked about this a little bit before, but how do we make gratitude a regular part of our lives?
It's as easy as just taking a few minutes every day to appreciate the good things in your life. You can keep a gratitude journal, write a thank you note to someone who's helped you, or even just stop throughout the day and notice those little things that you're grateful for.
Yeah, it's easy to forget to appreciate the simple things, like a warm cup of coffee or a sunny day.
Exactly. And gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's about shifting your energy to a place of abundance and being open to receiving. When you're grateful for what you have, you're basically telling the universe, hey, I'm open to even more good things.
It's like priming the pump for abundance.
That's a perfect way to put it.
So far, we've talked about visualization, affirmations, and gratitude. What are some other techniques we can use to apply this secret in our lives?
Well, Byrne says it's important to act as if your desires have already come true. This could mean making small changes in your life or your environment that reflect the reality you want.
Can you give me an example?
Let's say you're trying to find a new romantic partner. Acting as if might mean making room in your closet for their clothes, buying an extra toothbrush, or even just changing your mindset. From single and searching to open and receptive to love.
So it's about making space physically and emotionally for that desire to happen.
Exactly. You're aligning your actions and your surroundings with what you want.
Byrne also talks about the importance of following your joy, doing things that make you happy and make you feel alive. How does that connect to the secret?
When you're doing things you love, you're naturally vibrating at a higher frequency. You're in a state of flow aligned with your true self. And that's when manifestation becomes easier.
So it's not just about working hard toward their goals, it's about enjoying the process too.
Exactly. The secret reminds us that life shouldn't be a constant uphill battle. It's about finding that balance between effort and ease, between taking action and letting things happen naturally.
This has been a really interesting look at the secret. We've talked about the main ideas, the quantum physics connection, the importance of feeling our desires, expressing gratitude, and taking inspired action. Is there anything else we should remember as we explore the secret and try to use it in our lives?
One thing Byrne really stresses is the importance of letting go of the outcome. It's about trusting the universe to do its thing and having faith that things will work out for the best, even if it's not exactly what we had in mind.
So it's not about trying to control everything, it's about surrendering to something bigger.
Exactly. It's about letting go of the need to control everything and trusting that the universe has our best interests in mind.
That can be really hard to do, especially when we're attached to a specific outcome.
It definitely takes practice.
Hmm.
But the more we can surrender to the flow of life, the more we open ourselves up to the good things the universe has in store. Remember, the universe works in mysterious ways, and what we think we want might not always be what's truly best for us.
That's a good point. So it's about aligning with our desires, taking inspired action, and then letting go and trusting the process.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between effort and surrender. And remember, the secret isn't about being positive all the time. It's about becoming more conscious creators of our reality, even when things are challenging and uncertain.
This has been a super insightful deep dive into the secret. We've covered so much from the quantum physics linked to the importance of feeling our desires, expressing gratitude, taking inspired action, and surrendering to the universe. Where do we go from here?
Well, now that we've explored the ideas behind the secret, let's get practical. We can look at some specific techniques that Byrne suggests for applying these principles to different areas of your life.
That sounds great. I'm ready to start using this knowledge. All right, so we've talked about the philosophy and like the whole quantum physics thing behind the secret, but let's get practical. How can we actually use these ideas in our everyday lives?
Well, Byrne gives a lot of different techniques. It's about finding what works for you. Some people really connect with visualization, others prefer affirmations or gratitude practices.
Okay, let's start with visualization. Byrne talks about making a vision board, a collage with pictures of all the things you want. Is that really effective, or is it just like a fun craft project?
Vision boards can be really powerful for figuring out your goals and keeping them in mind. The key is to not just look at the pictures, but to actually feel something when you see them. Imagine yourself living in that dream home, driving that fancy car, getting that big promotion. Feel that excitement, the joy, the sense of accomplishment.
So it's about bringing those pictures to life in your mind, making them feel real.
Exactly. And don't just stick to pictures. Use all your senses. What does success smell like, taste like, feel like? The more real your visualization feels, the more powerful it becomes.
That's a great point. What about affirmations? I've tried them before, but they always felt kind of fake, like I was trying to convince myself of something I didn't actually believe.
Yeah, the trick with affirmations is to pick ones that actually resonate with you. Ones that feel true to what you really want. Don't just repeat things you read in a book. Spend some time thinking about what you really want to manifest in your life, and then come up with affirmations that feel genuine and inspiring.
Okay, so instead of saying, I am a millionaire, which feels way off for me right now, I could say something like, I am attracting financial abundance into my life. That feels more believable and more like where I'm at right now.
Exactly. And don't forget, repetition is key with affirmations. The more you say them, the more you're changing those thought patterns in your brain and creating new beliefs that support what you want.
Byrne also talks a lot about gratitude as a big part of manifestation. We touched on this before, but how can we make gratitude a more regular habit?
It's really as simple as taking a few minutes each day to appreciate the good things you have. You can keep a gratitude journal, write a thank you note to someone who's been kind to you, or even just pause during the day and think about the little things you're grateful for.
It's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind and forget to appreciate those simple things, like a good cup of coffee or a sunny day.
Exactly. And gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's about shifting your energy to a place of abundance and being open to receiving. When you're thankful for what you already have, you're sending a message to the universe that you're ready for more good things to come your way.
Like you're getting ready for all that abundance.
Exactly.
So we've talked about visualization, affirmations, and gratitude. What are some other things we can do to use the secret in our lives?
Well, Byrne says it's important to act as if what you want has already happened. This might mean making little changes in your behavior or your surroundings to reflect that new reality.
Okay, can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say you want to manifest a new relationship. Acting as if might mean making space in your closet for your partner's clothes, getting an extra toothbrush, or even just changing your mindset from single and looking to open and ready for love.
So you're making room physically and emotionally for that desire to become real.
Exactly. You're aligning your actions in your environment with your intentions.
Byrne also mentions the importance of following your bliss. Doing things that bring you joy and make you feel alive. How does that fit into the secret?
When you're doing things you love, you're naturally vibrating at a higher frequency. You're in a state of flow totally aligned with your true self. And that's when manifestation becomes almost effortless.
So it's not just about working hard and chasing our goals, it's about enjoying the ride, too.
Exactly. The secret reminds us that life isn't meant to be a constant struggle. It's about finding that sweet spot between working towards something and letting things happen naturally.
This has been such a great exploration of The Secret. We've covered so much from the main ideas to the quantum physics stuff to practical tips for using it in our own lives. What are some final thoughts for our listeners as they start to explore The Secret for themselves?
Well, just remember that the secret isn't some magic spell or a quick fix. It's a way of thinking, a way of living that encourages us to become conscious creators of our own reality. It's about understanding the power of our thoughts, getting in touch with what we truly desire, and having faith that the universe is there to support us along the way. It's about living with intention, gratitude, and a strong belief in our own unlimited potential.
It's about embracing the magic and the mystery of life and realizing that we all have a hand in creating our own experiences. So to our listeners, I say, go out there and make your dreams reality. The universe is ready to help you every step of the way.